So, hi everybody, I'm Marie Jenkins from Advance Your Wellbeing and welcome to today's interview with the fantastic Terry Hill. Hiya Terry.
Hi, thanks, Marie. No pressure.
You'll be brilliant. So I'm really looking forward to learning more about what you do and a bit of your backstory as well. So let's start at the very beginning. Tell me who you are, what you do.
Right, I'm Terry Hill. I'm a business psychologist and I'm a coach and I'm an author. And the mission of my company is to make workplaces healthier, happier, and more productive.
Well, that's just what we need, actually, isn't it, in this current climate? So, yes, happier and healthier workforces. That sounds brilliant.
So,
You mentioned there you're an author.
I wrote a book called The Inspiration Code, and it's about how organizations can inspire and get the best out of their staff.
Okay, so who is that aimed at?
I would probably say people in management and leadership positions.
Okay, and what will they get out of the book then?
Well, they should get some strategies that they can use in just about any situations to inspire their people and make them healthier, happier, and more productive.
Brilliant, fantastic. So, how long have you been a business development coach? And can you tell me a bit about your backstory?
Right. Yeah, I've done quite a few jobs. I started off in teaching, and but I spent most of my career in the pharmaceutical industry. And my favorite role, and I did quite a lot of them, was being a performance coach, and that was working on others' success. And I like to make a difference.
So, pharmaceuticals. So, are you purely working with pharmaceuticals now to
Um,
help them, or are you a
well,
lot broader?
yeah, it's mainly pharmaceuticals, but I've also worked with banks and holiday companies, and I wanted to spread my wings, and so I left the industry about 10 years ago, and I still work with them as an independent consultant, of course.
Yeah, yeah, brilliant. So, let's look at the current climate. Um, Especially, if we're trying to achieve those more healthier and happier workforces, and we've got a real focus on well-being, what do you believe to be the biggest challenge or opportunity for businesses as we
Yeah,
post-COVID?
well, I think every challenge brings an opportunity with it. I was always told we don't have challenges, we have opportunities. And one effect of COVID has been to accelerate business trends that were already happening. And I think the move to virtual communication would be an example of that. It's a great opportunities for companies that are ahead of the game here, are already operating online, perhaps, and these people can move ahead. But another challenge that is not so well recognized is that companies are having to rethink the value that they add to customers. Like, what do customers really want in these troubled times? For example, in the business-to-business sector, our customers may just want to know how their competitors and their colleagues are surviving and thriving through these times and what they can do. So that may be something that we offer, and that gives them a reason to want to talk to us.
Absolutely. So you said you've already sort of adapted yourself in your business to the changes, which is fantastic. So what are you offering online?
What am I offering? Well, I do virtual facilitation for interpersonal and influencing skills. But I've been involved in a couple of more sort of topical projects as well. I'm involved in an initiative helping companies to reconnect empathetically with their customers. Now, some organizations like healthcare, for example, have been through sheer hell, and they're starting to reevaluate the usefulness of many of their suppliers, and they will work with those that really understand what they've been through and who understand how their priorities have changed. So that's one thing. The second thing that I've been working on is that reflects the fact that many organizations are worried about the mental health of their homebound or their furloughed employees. And this is a great time for these people to spend some time on themselves and get in touch with their true passions and uncovering their true talents and strengths, and maybe working on a few new skills so that they come back better and stronger. And I've been working on an e-learning program to help them do that.
Ah, e-learning, that sounds interesting. So has that got a specific topic?
A specific topic? Yeah, I suppose. I would call it inspiration and becoming a more inspirational leader, and just surviving and thriving through this this pandemic.
We all need inspiring leaders now, don't we? So no more than ever.
And we need to inspire our customers more, as well as inspire our people.
Absolutely, it goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely. So what skills do you think companies are going to need the most in the post-COVID future?
Yeah, I think that virtual communication is here to stay.
Yeah.
So that's an obvious one, that even virtual avoiders like me have to embrace it. And I found that it's got lots of advantages for me, particularly when it's done well, that the users don't have to be anywhere. So your travel time is cut out, and the meetings can be held at just about any time of the day.
Yeah.
And anyone can join in the conversation from anywhere else and add their expertise. So there's lots of advantages there. But secondly, I think that companies are going to have to suspend their own agenda more and follow the agenda of their clients. And to do that, they're going to have to be more emotionally intelligent, EQ, in other words. That's the great buzzword of our era, emotional intelligence. And it's a bit of a game changer.
Absolutely. I find emotional intelligence such a fascinating topic. So do you cover emotional intelligence, Terry? And tell me a bit more about what your perception of emotional intelligence is.
Yeah, well, I think it all begins with self-awareness. Now, for a company to be successful, you have to know how you're perceived by your customers. And so we will all know how to get that business and what you have to do. And so EQ is also about empathy, and that's been highlighted as the greatest superpower, if you like, to have in today's business, because it's empathy that helps us understand what our clients have been through and what they're going to be looking for. And so more than ever now, our businesses are going to have to listen first and see things from the client's viewpoint and tailor their offerings accordingly, so that they really add value to the client. And if we do that, then they'll be with us.
Totally agree. I read a fascinating book by Travis Bradbury called Emotional Intelligence 2.0, and it totally changed my outlook, and that was part of my mental health recovery. But it's a fascinating topic. It's all around self-awareness, isn't it? And how you build those relationships both with your peers or your colleagues, as well as your customers. So yeah, I can imagine it's a game changer, emotional intelligence.
It definitely is.
Yeah, yeah. So what can organizations do to really inspire their people, would you say?
Yeah, well, I'd say there are three things that they can do. And of course, I cover a lot of this stuff in my book. And the first thing is to have an inspiring purpose or mission to begin with, and one that appeals to potential recruits. And that means we can get the right people in the first place. Now, Apple's purpose was to change the world. But you don't have to have a mission to change the world, just a mission that is sufficiently inspiring to attract talented people to your company in the first place. And if you don't have such a mission statement, then get your own people to help you, because the more involved people are going to be, the more committed are they going to be to the values and the mission of the company. So that's the first thing. I think the second thing is find out what your people really want in a job. Now, unless they're struggling to pay the bills, it's not going to be about money, but it's going to be about things like stimulation, challenge, personal growth, making a difference. And if you ensure that your company caters for all of these things, and we know at an individual level what is important to every one of our people, then our business will grow quickly. So that's number two. And I'd say that the third thing was to discover what people are naturally good at so they can play to their strengths. And everybody has hidden talents, ones that are obvious and ones that are not so obvious. And have people playing to their strengths, even if you have to redesign their jobs a little bit. For example, if they're good with the customers, they're good at selling, then don't keep them chained to the desks. Get them out there with the customers and get somebody else to do the paperwork, somebody who likes the admin and who is good at it. Yeah. There's quite a lot of things examples I could go into, but that's probably enough to be going with for now.
That's fantastic, Terry. And it's really interesting because I've recently attended a webinar on workplace wellbeing, and I think what I took from it was the Birmingham Chamber of Commerce webinar, and what I took from that is now is a fantastic opportunity for businesses to rethink their business plans, looking at their cultures of their organisations. I mean, only yesterday, I spoke to Jackie Malloy, who's the head of HR at Thompson Solicitors, and I asked her about, exactly the point you've made, really, about the future of their organisation. And she said, 2020 was a year of being reactive, whereas 2021 is actually the year where you can be proactive, and they're going to take a real focus on the future of agile working and how that fits the organisation. And I think, it's a fantastic opportunity for people to take stock, look at their strengths, and perhaps, it might be that people pivot in organisations, but I imagine that's the sort of thing you could help businesses with.
Yeah, yes, definitely. And that's definitely going to be my purpose for 2021. 2020 was more about survival, so I agree completely. But now I've got companies to be more proactive and set the agenda and make their companies more inspirational. Place to work, because that in turn will affect the customers. That will attract the customers in.
Yeah,
and use the same habits. They will inspire their customers.
Absolutely. And well-being, the well-being you mentioned there about, getting potential recruits on board. If you're an inspirational business, and provide all these different well-being things, it's going to be a lot easier to attract and retain those most valued talents within your organization.
Yes, definitely. And I think that today's generation, they want to make a difference, and they want to work for a company with purpose, and they want it now.
Well, I think it's just a really, if you look at it in a positive light, it's a fantastic opportunities for companies to reevaluate, isn't it? Can you recall a time, Terry, when you've been working in a business that's been the most rewarding to you, sort of before pre-COVID and that type of thing, and why was it so rewarding for you?
Yeah, I think a couple of years ago, you made me think of an example earlier on when I actually worked with SAS trainers to help to create out performers in the pharma industry, and I'd never done this before, and I was really intrigued. I love novelty in any job that gives it. But we were working on people's mindset and their fears and all those things that hold us back from becoming out performers. And it was so inspirational to work with such positive people. And I just learned loads. So I absolutely loved it.
Wow. And did you say one of it, when we've spoken previously, you were saying about one of your favourite assignments? So you've worked abroad a lot. Where was your favourite?
Oh, right. Well, the pharmaceutical industry has taken me to some really exotic locations to do my training for. It's usually for interpersonal skills, and maybe they want to inspire their people more. But one of my favorite assignments of all was working with a holiday company that actually took me to Benidorm. And I was working with young travel representatives and working with them on sales and customer service, and I was teaching them things like influencing skills and how to deal with different personality types. And it was all very new to me, and it all started off a bit like my worst nightmare that I was teaching in school. But they really loved it, and they became great in the end, and yeah, they were much better at things like presenting and selling than I was at their age, and so so that was very inspirational for me. I just loved it.
Yeah. And is Benidorm very much like the TV program?
Yeah, it was. I got a guided tour of all the.
Well, that's the opportunity, isn't it, to work in different countries and to add value to travel reps. You know, what a fantastic opportunity that was. I'm interested, you mentioned about them being such a fantastic group. Who inspires you?
Who inspired me? You mean in this group?
As in, like, you know, people you've worked with previously, so it could be within that group, or who do you look out to in industry now that inspires you?
Yeah. Okay. Well, if I start with what inspires me about an audience, when they're passionate about what they do, and I'm thinking of the example of travel representatives, it really meant something to them to give their clients the best possible experience, and so that inspires me when people are really passionate about what they do. And I could name lots of people that I've worked with. I've had some great managers who really get it, and the best ones were always interested in what was really important to me, and they never forgot it. And if you were to inspire people, that's probably all you need to do to really get the ball moving there. Also, there are lots of gurus out there that inspire me, and I read all their books, and I'm very much into Stephen Covey, for example. And because he's given me so many different aha moments, and I think, wow, that is really true.
Is that the 7 habits of an effective
That's
leader?
right. All these things like seek first to understand, and only then to be understood. And that's what we have to do with our customers now.
Absolutely, totally agree.
So these are the 7 habits to really live by, and I'm finding new ways to live them.
I think we all are. We're all on that personal development journey ourselves, aren't we?
Yes, I believe so. We never stop learning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you just remind me, Terry, what was the name of your book and how can people get hold of it?
Right, it's available on Amazon, and if you just Google The Inspiration Code by Terry Hill, then it'll take you there.
Fantastic. And if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best method for them to do that?
Yeah, probably to email me, and they can email me on terry@mindscapeassociates.co.uk, and I'll spell that Terry, TERRY, at mind, MIND, scape associates, all one word, and don't forget the .co.uk.
Brilliant. Terry, it's been really lovely to speak to you today, and thanks very much for your time.
Thank you, it's a pleasure. Thank you, Marie.
Thanks, Terry.